Today we're gonna make spicy shrimp alla vodka with pasta. All right, guys, I always like to go over the ingredients. This is a great one and it's really easy. Vodka sauce is so good. In fact, it's so good, we're gonna do a taste testing vodka sauce challenge. There's a ton of jarred sauces you can buy, but making it yourself is always better. And we're gonna put shrimp in it today, which makes it even better. I mean, it's better if you like shrimp, I guess. If you don't like shrimp, it doesn't make it better. Right here is 1¼ pounds of, these are like U26 shrimp. Any size you want, like a relatively large shrimp would be good. I put in a ½ teaspoon of Calabrian chili paste. We have extra Calabrian chili paste for later to make it spicy level to our taste. In addition to that, I put in ½ teaspoon of baking soda and a ½ teaspoon of kosher salt. That's our brine. Makes the shrimp plumper, the baking soda. If you don't want to use it, guys, you don't have to. Like every time I do it in a shrimp recipe, I always get asked the questions. If you don't want to do it, absolutely don't do it. In addition to the shrimp, we have basil. That's going to finish it up. This is about ¼ cup packed of leaves. You could also use parsley if you don't have basil. I have 4 cloves of garlic that I minced. Pasta, I have, this is a odd amount. This bag comes as 375 grams roughly, which I think is 13 ounces. Tara, say it for me. What is this shape again?
Paccheri.
This is great. The ridges, awesome looking, but use any tubular type of pasta you want. So you could use penne, rigatoni, ziti, you know, really whatever. Olive oil we're going to use for both making our sauce and for sauteing that shrimp. We have 1 cup of heavy cream. Creams in this is always in vodka sauce. Could you make it without it? Of course you could, but I don't recommend it. It's better with the cream. I have 4 ounces of vodka because it's vodka sauce. And then I also have 4 ounces of dry white wine. That's kind of my secret weapon. I actually learned this in the first place I ever worked for. If you don't want to do that and you want to go straight vodka, use it, but it won't be as good. I 100% guarantee you it will not be as good if you just use vodka. Tomatoes, I have 1 28-ounce can I opened of these San Marzanos and I crushed them up. You don't have to use San Marzanos and you don't have to use whole tomatoes. You can use crushed tomatoes. We also have 1 medium onion that I diced up. So I don't know, that's like more than a cup. That's pretty much all the ingredients here. We're gonna make our sauce first. Could you do the shrimp first and leave them off to the side? Yeah, but I think it's better to do it the way I'm gonna show you. That's why I'm showing you that way. We're gonna use a pan to make our sauce. We'll use another pan to sear our shrimp. It's easier this way. I'm using this, it's like a 4-quart Tefal non-stick. It works well for this, but you know, obviously use a stainless if you want to. I'm gonna heat this up to about medium low, so less than half. The majority of the time on this channel, we cook with stainless, but I always get the same questions about sticking and stuff like that. If you do use a stainless, you have to preheat your pan before you put oil down or anything in it. So the first thing we're gonna do is do our onions because they're gonna take longer than the garlic. We don't want to put any color on them, but we want them to get nice and soft and translucent. Like I said, if you're starting to burn, just knock it down a bit. I'm gonna put just a touch of salt in there to aid in the water release of those onions. You don't have to do that. That's like a fancy chef move, you know? Like you don't have to do that. It'll be all right. What you can do also, if it starts to get a little, like you think you're burning too much, just splash of water in there. It'll bring down the heat of the pan about 75 degrees, like that. At this time, you can bring up your water to boil. Everything can be done very quickly. These onions look like this, which means they're soft. So I'm gonna put the garlic in. You can make a little space over there. Get a little color on there. So this is all a personal preference. I have Calabrian chili paste here, so I got a good amount. I'm gonna put in another ½ teaspoon. So between the ½ teaspoon in the shrimp and a ½ teaspoon here, we have a teaspoon. This is Cento brand, which is very much on the spicy side compared to every other brand that I've purchased. And we've probably purchased 20 brands of the Calabrian chili. Pretty much purchased every single one that's for sale in America. So like if I was using like Tutto Calabria or Bomba sauce from Trader Joe's or any of the other brands, I probably would do 4 times that amount here. I'd probably do 2 teaspoons. But this stuff is just like, just boom, right up your nose. Me and James even did a whole taste test when we ate the whole Calabrian chilies by themselves, you know? So that's all you gotta do is let it permeate the oil. If you don't have Calabrian chili paste and you want some spice, just use a little hot red pepper flakes. That's all you have to do there. All right, so I have ½ cup of white wine and I have ½ cup of vodka. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat up. You could do it to medium, high, doesn't matter. We wanna reduce this liquid by about half. You don't need to evaporate all of your alcohol when you cook, guys. You do not need to do that. But the really strong alcohol, definitely the vodka, we wanna get rid of that right away. But when you cook it now like this and the smell dissipates, you're left with a lot of just the nice compounds. But you're left with much more of the flavor compounds from the white wine because there is a lot more there than the vodka. That's why using white wine is so much better in combination with the vodka than just using straight vodka. So look guys, most of the liquid has evaporated and the smell has dissipated. So we're gonna put in our San Marzano tomatoes. Let's bring this up to hefty bubbling, and then we're gonna lower it quickly before it gets all over the counter. If you don't wanna hand crush your tomatoes, and you don't wanna put them in a blender really. If you do put them in a blender, you'll see in all my recipes, it just says pulse. If you hit it hard and you blend it, you'll turn them pink and you'll put a lot of air in the tomatoes, and it's not ideal. If you don't wanna get your hands dirty, this meat masher, go like this, and it break up really easily. Okay, so you can see this is simmering, bubbling nicely. I'm gonna just take this off to my regular stove over there and make it a little bit lower. I want it like a 3 out of 10, just to gently evaporate some of this liquid. So we're gonna do shrimp right now. I have a stainless steel pan. This is a 12-inch stainless steel pan. It should be large enough, roughly, to do the shrimp. We maybe have too much. It'll be all right. Stainless steel, you do wanna heat up. So we're gonna heat this up to about a 5 out of 10. Got our pan nice and hot. Might be too hot. You can check your pan to see if it's the right temp. Just take a little bit of water, okay? Just go like this. See how these little balls move around like that? Right away, if it just goes like incinerates to nothing, then it's too high. So I'm just gonna use regular olive oil here to do these. You don't have to use extra virgin. And if your shrimp are too wet, then you could dry them off. Just move that oil around and then put the shrimp in. Just try to move them apart quickly and then leave them alone. We're only gonna take like 3 minutes total to do these shrimp. We removed the tails simply because with a dish like this, you want to just kind of dig in, eat it right away. I did save the tails. You can make like stock with them, or you can put them in like your shrimp tail bag and just stick it in the freezer and then make a stock when you have enough. Spend like a minute and a half. Honestly, in this application with shrimp, probably want to use a non-stick pan. I have a nice hard anodized, but if your pan's heated up all right, they should disconnect relatively easily like that, and then you get a nice brown one like that, okay? Instead of trying to flip all these right now, I think we just move them around, and some of them are gonna be stuck. But they've only been going about 90 seconds. They're only gonna need about 90 more seconds. I already went into this CO thing. It's a really stupid thing that's on the internet. They say if it's an O, it's overcooked. That's an O already, but it's completely gray. You can't eat it. I like to kind of bust these myths a little bit. I feel like they're written by people who don't cook. When they hit the heat immediately, most of the time, especially this size, they'll just turn into an O immediately. So what you can do here, even if they're not all cooked, they're still good enough. Take them off. As we're cooking our pasta, they can sit for a while. They're gonna go in right at the end. We don't wanna overcook them, all right? So let's just tent this with foil. The shrimp is tented right over here. The sauce is probably actually thickened up a little too much, so pasta's about 3-4 minutes from being finished cooking. It was cooked in 2 tablespoons of salt. Basically 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. That'll give you a 1.5% salinity. That's what you're going for. We're gonna cook that pasta to 1 minute less than al dente. We're gonna finish it in the sauce, add our shrimp in, basil, bring the taste tester down. I have heavy cream where you have white wine. We have acid in here from the white wine and tomatoes, but the cream normally isn't gonna break because it's heavy cream. If you were gonna use half and half, which some vodka sauce recipes will use half and half, you're gonna wanna temper it then. And that just means you're gonna take some of your sauce out and slowly get the half and half in there so it doesn't break. Okay, that's 1 cup of cream. Could you get by with a 3/4 cup here or a half a cup? Absolutely. Some people like this sauce very much on the lighter side, very pink, and then some people will like it more red. So I'm just gonna let this cook on very, very low heat. Now guys, because I only use 375 grams of pasta, odd amount, we're going to take out some of this sauce. This recipe's 28-ounce can would be enough. Everything we have here, the proportions would be right for a pound of pasta. I'm not gonna reduce it, make a recipe for some odd amount of pasta. I will never do that to you guys. I will either do a pound or a half a pound. That's it. Okay, so it's just been going on very low heat. I'm gonna season this up. It needs a little bit of salt. If you look at, a lot of times I'll just use paste for it, which is easier. I like it because with the paste and the cream, it grabs the pasta even better than this. Today with the shrimp, I wanted to go with the fresh tomatoes. The other thing I'm omitting would always put pecorino into my vodka sauce too. But since we're using shrimp, we're gonna omit the cheese here. If you wanna do it, go ahead, or if you don't wanna use pecorino, use Parmesan cheese. Gonna do a little taste test. That is delicious. Now, it could have more spice, but I'm gonna ease off on here for the taste tester. But it's got a wonderful flavor, and it has a wonderful consistency already. If you're very thick here, you can just make sure you always save your pasta water anyway, but you can add a tiny bit in there if you need to. In the beginning here, I'll just drain it right away. Such a beautiful pasta. And these little pasta spiders are great to have. You know, because the insert thing is good and everything, but it's such a pain to clean up. I'm just gonna let this cook in here. We're gonna let the sauce marry the pasta, which is what you always wanna do. You never wanna take your pasta, put it in a plate and put sauce on it. It's the worst thing you can do. Look how good that looks, guys. You know, you got little chunks from the tomato there. You got the pasta. I'm gonna add those shrimp back in here while everything else cooks. Now remember, the shrimp has some liquid in there too, so make sure before you start adding a bunch of pasta water, you check that out. And we're just heating those shrimp through. They're cooked, they're good, they're delicious. Gotta be a little gentle with your packery or it will break apart, but that's just the cost of doing business, you know? Now the pasta, it needs like probably another 30, 45 seconds. I told you, I took it out a little prematurely. Don't ever listen to like guides either. They're like, rigatoni takes 10 minutes and penne takes 9. No, it doesn't, guys. It's different machines making this pasta. So some people are making it a lot thicker. Some, the cheaper brands, often, you know, very thin, will turn to mush quickly. I think we're good though, okay? No flipping that unless you want to be wearing it. All right, let's get the basil on and get the taste tester down. Hello, taste tester.
Hi.
Do you know what this is?
Shrimp with pasta.
Why don't you let me know how it is? I put a little bit of the Calabrian, a little bit extra on his. Hope it's not too much for him.
He's got a poker face going on.
I know. Here's your napkin, Mr. Poker Face. All right, I think that's a good sign. Okay, so what do you think of it, James? Don't tell me the rating yet, but what do you think?
It tastes a little different from regular vodka sauce.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, did you put something in it?
Well, the Calabrian
Yeah, I
chili.
know you put the Calabrian, but is there anything else?
No.
Nothing else?
I mean, shrimp.
Yeah, maybe.
No cheese either. Normally I put cheese in my vodka sauce, so that is a difference.
I really like it. It's like, I like how it's like a little spicy. I wouldn't say that it's better than regular vodka sauce.
Okay.
Like completely different.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I think it's just the shrimp that's making him think that, because normally you wouldn't have shrimp with vodka sauce.
Actually, wait, I'm just not gonna have the shrimp with it. It's not so different, but like, it's different. Like, it's not the same flavor, but like, it's around the same like...
Goodness?
Goodness.
You won't insult me if you didn't give me a good rating either. What did I get, James?
Got a 9.
9 out of 10. All right. The way he was talking, I thought I was getting like a 7.
That's
Thank
a
you,
good
James.
rating.
Really?
Thank you. And it's easy to add shrimp to any recipe you want. Whatever it is, they take a few minutes, sear them in the pan, add them in. Really, really simple stuff. James wants to do a taste test now of the Calabrian chili with me. He wants to do, every time I use them, he's like, let's do another taste test. All right, James. So this is what I was saying before, guys. This is the Cento one, which is definitely spicy, on the spicy side. How much do you want to do each? That much each?
A little more. I think I need like just a little more.
James, did the flavor in the Calabrian, like when it was on the shrimp, did it remind you of any other type of cuisine other than Italian food?
Like some kind of like Asian food, like Chinese.
That's exactly what I thought.
All right, James. All right, bro.
Just a tiny bit more.
Bro.
All right. Do you want?
Go ahead.
I don't think this is that spicy. It's not even that bad.
Yeah, right. He's trying to run off the camera right now. He's like, it's not even that bad. I'm out of here. I'm not doing it. Why would I do that? He wins that contest. You win, James. See you next time.